It is 33 degrees today, and the hiccups keep attacking me at unexpected moments. You're just gonna have to bear with me in this difficult time. Okay? Hello humans, my name is Dale Kingsmill, and it is the height of summer. Australianism is in the air, and yesterday a friend of mine posted this picture on her Instagram. This picture is of what we in Australia call a blue bottle. You, around the rest of the world, may know it as a Portuguese man of war. And this got me thinking real hard about the weird relationship that Australians have with super dangerous animals. As I mentioned, we give the Portuguese man of war the much less hardcore name of a blue bottle, which I'm pretty sure in the UK you call flies blue bottles, or a blue bottle is a kind of fly, something like that. Not a poisonous thing from the ocean that will sting you to death. But I mean, we have these and they wash up on the beach all the time during the summer. And it's like this weird tradition that when you see them, you put on a shoe and you step on them to make them pop. Like that's just, it's what you do when you see blue bottles. And that's probably like a weird thing to be doing with a dangerous animal that's washed up and died on the beach. But yeah, no, we pop them to have fun, especially as children. And then you politely kick sand over the tail so that if someone walking along the beach doesn't spot it, they won't sting themselves. It's just a weirdly mundane and pedestrian way to deal with something that could hurt you really badly. Yes, thinking about this weird relationship between Australians and the things that try to kill them on a regular basis made me think that I could tell you guys just a couple of the stories of when things in this country tried to kill my relatives. It's a catchy name for a series, no? No? I think so. Now, I'll say up front that we don't really have any shark stories. I'm sorry to disappoint. The closest we do have is actually my cousin Daryl, who he was in the very last part of my American Adventures videos. Mentions it in this video over here.
The last time I did this paddle, I was circled at about midpoint by a rather large shark.
That is, I believe, the closest anyone in my family has come to a shark attack. Snakes, on the other hand, for a snake example, let's go with the time my dad was out in the middle of nowhere and was bitten by a snake and had to last 3 days before rescue came. So my dad was a teenager and he and I think 4 of his friends from Scouts were going on a multi-day bushwalk out in the Blue Mountains. And they were pretty well trained for this and they would do that sort of thing a bunch, but it was still a bunch of teenagers hiking out into the middle of empty, no people place. And I think on the second day or so, my dad just started throwing up. Just couldn't stop, just throwing up everywhere. And they very slowly realized, he and his friends very slowly realized that he had been bitten by a snake in the morning or in the night without realizing it, and then had been walking on it all day. And so he started drifting in and out of consciousness and was delirious and dizzy. And 2 of his friends kept walking and went to find the exit to the bush and find help. And 2 of his friends stayed with him. And for days, they were just stuck in the middle of the bush. A rescue helicopter did come for them, but it found them at night time, I think, and wasn't able to land. So he was just out there. I think it was the Sunday that he got sick. He spent the Monday, Tuesday delirious and coming in and out of consciousness. And then on the Wednesday, the helicopter finally managed to land and pick them up. Spiders! Oh, the spider stories I could tell you. In fact, I'm going to. So if you really dislike spiders, you might want to not watch the rest of this. Funnel webs. It was like a yearly thing as a child that when it got to summer and the funnel web holes were all over my grandma and granddad's backyard, we would go out and grandma would pour boiling water down the holes to kill the funnel webs. Or Something that I didn't witness as much, but Mum did plenty. I did see my dad do it once or twice, and my brother, but when the funnel webs start making holes everywhere, because they're really dangerous spiders, the thing to do is to pour petrol down the hole and then light a match and throw it down the hole. Just a little bit of petrol, just so that, because those funnel webs can survive underwater, okay? They will not die, okay? So you need to take the precautions of setting them on fire and killing them with boots and things. Kill them extra, just to be safe. But I mean, with funnel webs, there's stories like my Uncle Mac picking up a tennis ball, and there was a funnel web that crawled onto his hand from the tennis ball, and he flicked it off, and then looked at his thumbnail, and it had tried to bite him. There was a bunch of venom on his thumbnail. The funnel web had tried to bite him, but had managed to only get the nail, and so Uncle Mac was safe. Or the time that my grandmother actually was bitten by a funnel web. It bit her right on the hand, and then she took it really well. She walked into the house calmly, even though her hand was burning and in the most pain ever. And then she went to find her Girls Brigade handbook, and she flipped through the first aid handbook from Girls Brigade to see if it told her what to do in case of a funnel web spider bite. And when she couldn't find the answer and her hand was still in the most pain she had ever felt, she finally called up my Uncle Trevor and said, I was just bitten by a funnel web. And Uncle Trevor went, well, I'm coming around and taking you to the hospital then. Why haven't you already done that? And they went to the hospital, and the doctor said that if she wasn't sick and dizzy and throwing up and stuff by then she wasn't going to get sick from it. And the two possibilities for what had happened were that it was either, I can't remember whether it's male or female funnel webs that are the more poisonous, but there was a possibility that she was bitten by whichever is the least poisonous, or the funnel web had fired blanks, which is what they call it when a funnel web bites you but doesn't inject very much of its venom. Apparently that's a thing that happens, that they can get just so aggressive before they've even bitten you, before they've even attacked you, that they'll spill out too much of the venom before biting you for it to actually be super dangerous to a human. These were just a few short tales of things in this country that have tried to kill my relatives. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up, and if you went and shared it on your favorite social media website. Speaking of which, I am on lots of those social media websites also, so if you would like, you could follow me there. I'm on Twitter and Instagram and Tumblr and Facebook and others. And you can always hit the subscribe button to get more videos from me every week, usually me being ridiculous and a giant dork. And also subscribe because we're nearly at 10,000 and I'm so excited that my face could melt. Don't forget to email this to your grandma, unless of course she is afraid of spiders, then probably don't. For now, that's it, I'm done, and I will see you guys some other time. They were just stuck in the middle of the bush.